FEBIA. FEBIA is the European Federation of Ethical and Alternative Banks. That means 23, 24 members in 13 European countries. And some of the members are active in the field of microfinance. So one of the members is Hefboom. Hefboom is Belgian member, and Hefboom is in fact doing the secretary of FEBIA. So I am working in the offices of Hefboom, but only for FEBIA. It's only a part-time job. I have also other occupations and activities like teaching social economy and social economy enterprises at the University College of Kortrijk for Erasmus students. So, and also a lot of other things. So, but I will explain a bit the model, microfinance model and microcredit model of Hefboom. To be clear, Hefboom is active in the Flemish part of Belgium. Flemish part plus Brussels. We don't discuss about Brussels. And you have also in Belgium, you have Credel, another member of FEBIA, who is active in the French-speaking part of Belgium, Walloon, and Brussels too. But we are not competitors, we are in real agreement and we are collaborating in fact. Hefboom and also Credel are not banks. They are, you can call it credit cooperatives. Hefboom has the statute of credit cooperative, Credel too, credit cooperative, yes. And they have also a non-profit organization to do and to deliver services, coaching, make research and things like that for organizations and for social organizations. We are in, or Hefboom is investment company, investment cooperative, credit cooperative, mostly giving credits and loans. Yeah, they don't have neither Credel a banking license, but it's not necessary in Belgium. You can give credits without having a banking license. So for real banking activities, we are collaborating with banks, and in Belgium and for Hefboom is mostly VDK, rather regional saving bank, yeah. Also with Belfius, former Dexia, and also sometimes with Triodos. So the microcredit activity of so Hefboom is doing not only financing, also giving advice on management and services for social economy. The microcredit activity of Hefboom is a bit developed thanks to the traditional loan and credit activity of Hefboom for social organizations and also for social economy enterprises. You have also, it's in fact one part of the more global framework to finance social economy, because you have this microcredit part, yeah? You have the more broader credit and loans for social organizations and social economy enterprises. So credits and loans up to 300,000 euro. And you have also a specific organization or a specific cooperative, financial cooperative, Trivident, financing or taking participations for equity. So in fact, it's three parts. You have dividend with participation of Hefboom in it, dividend for equity. Traditional activity of Hefboom is giving credits and loans, and then, in fact, the new part or the new activity since some years, that's the microcredit. So it's a range of activities, but not the big credits and the big loans. There, that's really a lack. And that's important. We are collaborating with others. So I haven't to, okay, that's the target group, partners, and then the products, how you make an application, the coaching and the figures. So target group, it's like everywhere, I think. The reality, what are the problems that this target group had to have access to finance. Okay, in this Belgium framework, okay, I already said you have Hefboom, you have Credal. It's important to know you have the Belgian legislation and the Belgian legal framework, but the competence on economy, regional economy, but also on social economy, the competences are not situated on the Belgian federal level, but on the regional level. Okay? That means you have a different framework, a different public support in Flanders than you have in Walloon. And it's also a bit different in Brussels. That's something specific. So if Hefboom is active in Flanders and is doing the same thing in Brussels, it will be a bit different in Brussels because there we have other structures and other support mechanisms from government. Okay. Important is that the activity 2 years ago, 2 years ago was on the federal level. Now it's regionalized, competence on the regional level, and we are collaborating with Flemish institutions. The Flemish policy, official policy, is to say, okay, we have a lot of activities and a lot of support mechanism for enterprises. In this framework, we have some specific things for small and middle-sized enterprises. And within that, you have some specific approaches and support mechanisms for social enterprise of social economy enterprises. So the global policy is to say, okay, we have the global framework, so we have not something for the traditional enterprises and then aside of it something specific for social enterprise. No, it's global framework, and within this global framework also some specific approaches for this social enterprise of social economy enterprises. Okay, so we have there, and we try to have a collaboration. The initiative is always coming from the private, social private, but private sector. And it's co-financing system. It's also a system of co-guarantee by government, but the initiative has to come from the private sector, in this case from Hefboom. Hefboom having his own equity, so they have a capital up to 15 million euro. The global portfolio, and because they have also subordinated loans and things like that, they can go up to 25 million euro. So that's what is possible for them. They use this money to give loans, and the remuneration of their capital, of their shareholders, is variable, but the last years it was 2%. Last year it was 0, even depreciation of 20%, something like that, because of losses due to the ARCO and the Dexia history. So, but now for TCR, they give us, I'm a member of the cooperative, they give 1%. Okay, that's the cost of the capital. So for a lot of credits, they can obtain a co-financing from the Flemish Social Investment Fund, co-financing of 50%. They have also access to a kind of public guarantee fund, who safeguards 75% of these credits, microcredits from HEFBO. So that means at least 25% is on your own risk. And the agency, the public agency Entrepreneurship, Flemish agency, is for the startup of the program, gives subsidy for 200,000 euro during 3 years for the startup costs of the whole program for the to promote it. And in the beginning, it was Dexia Foundation, now it's Belfius Foundation, who is paying for the moment some operational costs, and important that they are participating with volunteers. Most of them are retired persons, retired experts from Belfius who said, okay, we agreed to coach, to help you as volunteers to coach the new entrepreneurs. So you have, in fact, a global approach with different partners to set up this program about microcredits. And those who say, okay, who deliver you these candidates is the official agency Entrepreneurship, or also the traditional networks and the traditional organization of independent shop holders and things like that, activity cooperation, also NEFTE and so on. I think that's very important that from my point of view, to start up some microcredit activity, you do it not on your own, but it has to be part of a global approach of the financial problems and the financial needs. You need microcredit, you need a bigger loan, you need equity, that's very different, okay? And you need support from public authorities by co-financing, co-guarantee, but also for support to start up, and also those who give you the candidates. Okay, to be clear on, so the impulse credit you can translate it push credit, to push you to start. So the target group there is the existing entrepreneurs and starters who want to become independent, and the maximum of this microcredit is 20,000 euro, the term 4 years, and you have a take-up time of 3 months. Grace period, where you have only to pay only interest, is 3 months. Interest rate is 6%. So for all the products, so I think important, 20,000 euro at maximum, term maximum 4 year, interest rate 6%, and you have there a grace period, the period you have to pay back of 3 months. We ask also a kind of solidarity fee for your dossier, for your file, but that can be part of your credit. Okay, it's up to a credit committee to decide if they give you this credit and if you need own equity or not, or if you need some personal pay by you or by another person. So for impulse credit part is a bit another target group, and it's a smaller amount, but in fact, there it has period free of payback has to be the grace period, they call it. I didn't change the text. So interest rate, it's the same. So they are the same principles. For start, that's also for job seekers, only 5,000 euro. Term, because it's only 5,000 euro, it's only 3 years, same interest rate, and so eventually you also this unique solidarity fee. And important maybe as a model, but that's specific to Belgium, but also because it's a French ID, I believe, and they pick it up in Belgium. That's the starter, or no, the activity cooperative. Cooperative d'activité en France. So what that means, you have people who are jobless, to having an unemployment allowance, having an ID. So, and instead of starting immediately with this activity and asking for a credit, they take contact with what we call an activity cooperative, an existing cooperative, and they say, okay, I have an ID. And during a period of at maximum 18 months, they are elaborating their ID and their activity, their business plan, they are discussing, and in the meantime, they still have their allowance, unemployment allowance, and they even can start up their activity not as an independent enterprise, but within the framework, and also with the company number of the activity cooperative, with the VAT number of the cooperative. So they can start up their activity, they can already have some income, and if after some months of activity, if they say, okay, it's viable, they can start independently. So it's a kind of real incubation cooperative. But therefore you need this framework, and for that, that's a specific element, that's a specific product of microcredit. So, but I mention it because I think it's an interesting model. I have to say that we have not specific legislation on it. It's a little bit in the gray zone of the legislation, but they accept it because people are active, are starting up their business and still receive their unemployment allowance. But it's more or less accepted by everyone. Okay, important maybe, the procedure, the contact form, and then, it's checked if it's interesting, it's interesting and it's within the framework and the conditions and the criteria of a credit, and then all the documents, and if all the documents and all the criteria are fulfilled, you are invited. And then the selection procedure is very important. The figures and the results for 2012 is that you have about, for Hefboom, you had 300 contacts, first contacts, At the end, but not all these contacts are already at the end, but at the end of 2012, you had only 30 real credits. So 1/10 of it. 300 contacts at the end. But some dossiers and some files and some projects are still in discussion. But very important, don't think, okay, 300 contacts, that will be 300 or 200 new enterprise. No. You have to be realistic because you have to make up this business plan, the information. Now, important is that HEFBO are these people working for it. They don't make the business plan. So from time to time, you have your ID. They say, okay, you can contact, you need money. Okay, we need a business plan, but we don't collaborate with you to make up your business plan. You have other groups, you have these activity cooperatives, but you have also the traditional support mechanisms, support structures from Flemish government, from this agency entrepreneurship. You can go there and we give you the addresses, the contacts to go there to make your business plan, to know what are all the problems for your licenses for some activities. You need your paper and things like that. Okay, the credit committee, when everything is okay, the credit committee takes a decision, gives you the amount, conditions, things like that, and you have a contract, and then the credit can be paid based on evidence. Important then is you have a compulsory coaching during 2 years. No money, okay, buy, and every month you pay back, you discharge. No. You can go, your credit based on evidence, and then coaching. And that are the volunteers. So there is a real follow-up of the credit and of your activity. And they are really coaching, giving advices, practical support on a lot of things. So these coaches, volunteers, but experienced people. So I think that's, and that's the costs for the volunteers is paid by Belfius Foundation. So it's really on the floor, free of charge, but compulsory, obligatory. I think that's an important thing. Okay, you have here some figures. It's only for the first, the three quarterlies of 2012. We have also the figures for the whole year already, but they are not mentioned here. But you see, only 1/10 of the first contacts are resulting in a real credit at the moment. We hope it will go better and better, but okay. And okay, how many people is working on that program? For the moment, 2 people. Okay. So, and they are using the money, capital of HEFBO, not of European Investment Fund, because the business as such is for the moment too small, too limited. But it's one of the possibilities. For example, Credal is working with the credit line of European Investment Fund. But for me, very important is that you don't start up such a thing only on microcredit. I am starting up a microcredit activity. No, it has to be in a global approach, global framework, and with support of different approaches, coaching, a legal framework, also other organizations who are saying, okay, we are doing, we are supporting you, we are collaborating. Not on your own, but in a global framework. Okay, that's, I think, the most important I have to say. Yeah, thank you.
Again, before we go for coffee break, one or two questions, if there's something pressing that you'd like to get clarified at this point with this model?
Yes, on the go, I have a finance and banking background. However, can you hear me? I don't know if the mic's working. Yeah. Okay, and I've worked on microcredit in Kenya before and Nicaragua. The question I want to ask is, you mentioned on the go the personal bail guaranteed by another person. Is that in the form of collateral, social collateral? Is that the model there on the Go program you mentioned?
Yeah, and is that the?
Is that a form of social collateral? Is that the model? So there's someone else that guarantees the loan from the community in case the beneficiary cannot repay it? Is that the?
It can be that.
Okay.
It can be, but it's not very detailed. But you have, but sometimes, but it's depending on what the credit committee finds as a risk. It's also depending of your capacity. Maybe for some people we can't ask a bail because they as a person have nothing. They have not the context or the family, but maybe you have your father as the possibility. Why? Okay, the criteria are okay for you, but maybe it's also easy to find some bail.
And okay, and it's related to this. It's maybe a part of the same question. You asked about the activity cooperatives. You mentioned, are they existing cooperatives or are they formed by new entrepreneurs as a new?
No. They are in Flanders. In every province, you have such an activity cooperative. So it's an existing one. And if you have an idea, you go to them and they say, okay, you can work, start up. We can elaborate your business plan within this existing cooperative. Okay, and then the follow-up can be a microcredit. Knowing that most of these, the activities financed by microcredits are mostly services because, 20,000 euro, that's not a lot. Eh? You can't install big machines and big offices and furniture like that. No. Okay?
Με τη συγχρηματοδότηση της Ελλάδας και της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης.